Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Ghostbusters 1984 film review. Now, as you know, Ghostbusters was a supernatural comedy film that was directed by Ivan Reitman, as well as written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. Now, the premise of the film is meant to follow Peter Venkman, Ray, as well as Egon, deciding to fund their own business called the Ghostbusters, which has them stationed in their firehouse, catching ghosts and trying to prove to the city that ghosts are real. And throughout it, we are shown with the characters' personalities, like how Peter's kind of the cool collect character who's a bit more like not taking himself serious, but all that. You've got Ray, who is kind of the jokester, but more kind of the second in command. Egon, who is the brains. And when you've kind of got Winston added in, he's kind of the character who witnesses the activities and is kind of meant to be added in as the fourth member of the group. Now, throughout the movie, we see basically how they have the Ecto-1, how they get around, the proton packs, and so on. And I think that I would have liked to have seen a scene where Egon sort of creates the weaponry and everything and shows off the gadgets to the team. It really would have been an awesome idea. And again, when you kind of got Dana Barrett, played by Sigourney Weaver, known for playing in the Alien films, when she does kind of witnesses the kind of paranormal side in her house, you can tell she's quick to call the Ghostbusters. And when you kind of got her neighbor Lewis, who is played by Rick Moranis, known for playing in the film's Brother Bear, you can kind of tell Lewis does have feelings for Dana, and you can tell Dana's aware of it, but does get annoyed by his annoyance, but still sees him as a friend. And this does remind me a bit of Megamind, where you kind of had Roxanne trying to be Hal's friend, but gets put off by his like nerdy behavior and kind of stalking ways. But I think there's a difference between that. I think Lewis knows he's not perfect, but still sees himself as a good person. And I would say what makes Ghostbusters memorable is the catchy theme song, how it's basically about trying to prove to people about something that you're right about is there. And I still think there are moments where I do think the movie feels enforced, because I feel like when you've got the receptionist Janine, I feel they could have had her kind of come to the Ghostbusters for the receptionist job and then being impressed by her kind of snarky personality. I also kind of feel when you've got the main villain in the film, they quickly defeat him near the end without a big epic story. It just feels rushed at that point. But I get it, that's what the film was meant to be. And what's actually interesting is Ghostbusters would basically spawn a franchise, because eventually we would get Ghostbusters 2 in 1989. We would get the Real Ghostbusters, the sequel to Real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, comic books, games, and there was even the PS3 one that acted like its own continuation and third film. And what's actually interesting is certain YouTubers like Failures, Angry Video Game Nerd, and Irate Gamer did their own reviews for it. And what's actually interesting is that the film has been referenced, parodied, and talked about so many times by Danny Phantom, Miraculous Ladybug, Very Odd Parents, Casper, as well, mainly as by so many other shows, films, and so on. And I think somewhere the original 1984 Ghostbusters film deserved its cult status, the adult humour, as well as the catchy theme songs. And I think this movie definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.